All right, let's get started. And thank you again for joining us for today's Zoe Merchant webinar with Addressee. This is the fourth in our series of merchant webinars designed to bring useful information to our merchants about areas of opportunity for improving your store. We want to remind you that you can participate by using the questions feature inside GoToWebinar, which we'll use to drive our Q&A conversation. After the presentation, we'll review the questions and provide answers to them. Please submit any and all questions you have. We'll go over as many as we can during the time allotted. If we happen to run out of time, we'll send out the Q&A via email after the presentation. A recording of this presentation will also be available afterwards. You can find that on the Merchant Webinars page on zoe.com. On that page, you'll also find out a list of upcoming sessions, including 1 in 2 weeks, which we'll talk about at the end, that introduces our new visual design editor. That's going to be a big one for you if you're a heavy user of our VDE. So stand by at the end of the presentation to learn a bit more about what's to come and the presentation we'll have. You can also go to the webinars page to see recordings of previous webinars. As we mentioned, this is the fourth, so there's already 3 recordings up there as well as the presentations, and this one will be up there within 24 hours of the session. So if you can't make a session, don't worry. We'll make a recording available that you can view later. One other thing we wanted to note before we begin today's presentation is we want to let you know that we're going to be surveying our merchants to find out what apps that you want. This will help us know who we should approach to join our ecosystem, which with the launch of our new app store is growing very quickly. In fact, Addressee is one of the newest ones. So we'll have a survey going out to you scheduled currently for Monday. We please encourage you to fill it out. Let us know what things you're looking for that would make Zoe more powerful and more useful to you. You can also go to the link sooner than that by going to the link that you see here on the screen, support.zoe.com. This is kind of a messy one, /v1.0/docs/app-requests. Again, that'll come to an email as well for you soon. So keep an eye out for that, and we would love to get your feedback about what you're looking for. On that note, we would like to welcome Addressee to the stage, and we have Tom and Henrik from Addressee who's going to present to you today and let you know a little bit more about their service and about address verification and help you understand why it's such an important topic. So Tom, Henrik, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Josh and Jackie. My name's Tom. I look after business development here at Addressee in the States. And I've got with me Henrik, who built the Addressee app for the Zoe store.
Hi there.
So let me just put up screen. So, Josh,
will you swap it again?
Geez, a little bit. Apologies, people. How's that?
Perfect.
Great. Cool. Let's begin. So yes, Addressee. From this webinar, we're going to basically talk you through a little bit about how the US address verification market currently stands, and basically just give you a sense of how our product will not only improve your checkout flow, boost your conversions, but also obviously boost your data quality in the back end. So ultimately just giving you much happier customers, more revenue, and just kind of smoothing out your checkout process. So address verification, how it currently stands in the US. As you've probably seen, there are various forms of address verification you can have. From the top 100 US e-tailers, the most popular is the state drop-down. So that's the very familiar drop-down button within the state field. It basically verifies that and forces you to choose an actual state. This obviously kind of blocks out anyone who isn't shipping to the US. If you don't have a US credit card as well, you basically can't enter your address. Yeah, this is still, I mean, the most popular form of verification within the top 100 US retailers. The second largest of this is the zip code search. So you type in your zip code, click enter, and it will autofill city, state, and the zip code you've entered. Again, you get a little bit of UX from this, but not a huge amount. Better data quality for sure, but again, you're locking out anyone who isn't from the States. So you're narrowing your market, and in this international e-commerce world in which we live, you're shooting yourself in the foot, really. From there, we go to what we call post-entry verification. Now, this is where you basically fill out your entire address, click enter, and then a pop-up will be thrown saying that you don't know what your address is, or in my case, when I type that in for my own address, it insists that I choose the building manager in the top line of my address, which clearly isn't part of my address. I kind of see this as really a kind of conversion killing form of address verification, whereas the first two in some degree help your customers through the checkout, albeit not by that much. This one I really feel is being just kind of detrimental, I suppose, to the checkout process. And kind of such a key point, such a key friction point, throwing a pop-up is only going to kind of scare away your customers as opposed to guiding them through and actually purchasing the product that you're selling. The final part, other than none, is what we call search-based address verification. Now, this is something we've been doing for a number of years, kind of developing it out from what we initially had, which was a postcode search in the UK, which pulled up an address, through to what you need in the States to find an address, which is basically a kind of a search engine. And you just start typing in line one of the address field your own home address. And we like to say between about 5 and 8 keystrokes from when you first start typing, your address will be in a drop-down beneath. You click on it, it auto-fills. It's lovely UX. It makes it kind of helps your customers through the checkout, and ultimately just improves the quality of the addresses that you capture, so that you know when you ship those goods, they're going to arrive at a verified postal address. So moving on from that, what do you need to make search-based address verification work? So we kind of see these 5 tenets, I suppose, 5 pillars of the search-based address verification model. One of them is what we call flexible search. This basically allows your customer to type in their address in any way they want. So if you think about in the US, people start typing their building number. In other parts of the world, like in the UK, for instance, people will always start typing with their postcode. So it basically allows for a fully international service and allows for people based on region to type in their address as they'd expect to type it within a web form. The second part is fuzzy matching. So as we all know, we make typos, and particularly on mobile. People have what we call fat fingers, and they make common typos. They miss out spaces. They switch over letters. I mean, it's all none of it's done deliberately, but people make mistakes. Other search-based address verification tools will get clogged up here. They won't get the address, whereas our service is designed to kind of recognize some of these common typos and basically autocorrect for those. So again, it's just another way of helping your customers type in their address without kind of roadblocking them at any point. Third part is one of my favorites, and it's the kind of the location biasing. So you tend to ship goods, not always, but you tend to ship goods to roughly where you are. So I live in New York. I tend to want to ship things to my house or to my office. With our location biasing, it basically prefers addresses which are within a certain IP range. I believe it's about kind of 60 kilometers. So, for example, I mean, in New York, I'm looking out onto Broadway. There are plenty of Broadways around the country. In fact, there's a couple of Broadways in New York City anyway. So it would just basically prefer the ones that are local, so that we can hit the kind of the target of the 5 to 8 keystrokes and allow your customer just to enter that address really quickly and without any hassle. And then from there, it kind of feeds into the kind of the global side. We've got customers all around the world, and we want to be able for them to present to their customers the most user-friendly experience possible. So we support, I think, about 40 different languages and character sets, and we've kind of got all the data to kind of go with that, which I'm kind of now going to discuss. So where we really differentiate ourselves with some of our competitors is the fact we've got 15 years of experience dealing with these postal authorities, USPS, Royal Mail, Canada Post, a whole host of other data providers. We basically take in all these data sets, host them our side, and then feed it out to your customers as and when they start typing. So it basically provides you guys with the best possible global address database. We update it, as and when we get it from these postal authorities, and know in the case of kind of Royal Mail and I believe Canada Post, that's every day. So every day they do a data update, and every day that's immediately updated into our database and fed out to your customers when they need it. And these kind of 5 things in combination basically work towards providing you, providing your customers with best possible user experience in that key friction point in the checkout, and then ultimately providing you guys with the best possible data quality in order to fulfill that shipment that you promised them. So kind of following on from that, kind of a little bit more depth on this, we're all about user experience, data quality, and saving you guys money and boosting your efficiency. Ultimately, that's the kind of the central premise of search-based address verification compared with the other types of address verification that I've discussed. And really, that's the way the market's moving. In the UK, we are dominant. We're in kind of 40% of the top 500 businesses, and we slowly see that the States is moving the same way. The search-based address verification just naturally works. Finally, kind of why Addressee? Have a number of reasons. We believe we've got the best possible address search technology out there in the market. We're white labeled by both Canada Post and Royal Mail for their own address verification tools. The predictive typing I've kind of discussed and the fuzzy matching. And then finally, we're kind of a truly international solution. As mentioned, we host data from data providers in all corners of the globe. And we've kind of got the customers to go with that. So yeah, I'd like to now pass over to Henrik, who will show you basically in about 30 or 40 seconds quite clearly how easy it is to use the new Addressee app within the Zoe App Store. You ready, Henrik?
Yes. If you play. So once the app has been loaded into your Addressee backend from the new marketplace, it's simply a case of logging in using the credentials that you would have used to sign up to our service. This automatically creates keys and mappings on your Addressee account that relate back to your Zoe store. So the service is immediately enabled on the storefront. So once you go to the basket, you go to checkout, and when we get there, it will be enabled on the address line 1 form field. You can start typing your address. The service will come up with suggestions, narrow it down when you carry on typing, and will autofill the form once the address is selected.
Thank you very much, Henrik. So yeah, you can see kind of the address auto-filled there with Zip+4 filled into all the boxes. That little Addressee logo thing you can see there is, it's on our free service, which you guys are more than welcome to kind of sign up for. Basically, what you just need to do is register and kind of install the app. But it's removable on the kind of the lowest monthly plan, which is I believe $25 a month. And then finally, just kind of a little bit about our heritage. We've been going for 15 years out of the UK. We've got 11,000 customers worldwide, including some of these brands. And if you've got any questions, please put them in the question box on the right-hand side. Likewise, if you want to reach out to me, I can be you can get me at tom.m@addressee.com. Or feel free to kind of just reach out after this webinar. Thank you very much, Josh. That's all we have.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Tom and Henrik, for that presentation. Hopefully those on the line see exactly how easy it is to get Addressee up and running. I think it's worth noting at this point, before we get into the Q&A, since it was just quickly mentioned, that Addressee was actually the first app partner to launch a start-to-finish app through our new App Store and through our new app development program. So for those of you who aren't aware, back in January, Zoe actually launched a new program that allows for app developers like Addressee to be able to quickly create a Zoe-compatible app. with existing technology that they may have built for other platforms like Magento. So what they were able to do is to kind of carry over an extension they had already built and bring it to Zoe. So instead of having to paste code snippets and all of that into your stores, you're simply able to activate the app, sign up for Addressee, and you're pretty much good to go. We're really trying to make these experiences easier for you when it comes to getting apps as well as maintaining your store, and so you're going to be seeing a lot more of this coming from us over time along with our partners. So we really appreciate having Addressee on board as our first partner to do this, but we're looking forward to also having more as we go along. So with that noted, what I would like to remind everybody at this point is that if you have a question, please feel free to submit it using the questions feature on GoToWebinar for the Q&A. We'll be happy to answer them. And then if you have any questions that you think of after today's presentation, you can also email me, josh@zoe.com, and we'll get the questions answered for you as well. So Tom and Henrik, a couple quick questions for you based on the presentation we just saw. Could you talk really quickly about the Addressee plan structure and sort of like how people can get started with Addressee if they've never used it before?
Sure. So we have a freemium model which basically gives you 100 free US credits per month, and then kind of beyond that, for if you want kind of fully international, our prices start from $25 a month, in which you get 500 credits. Basically, the credit system works as such: a US or Canadian address costs 1 credit to validate, and anything international costs 3. But if you kind of got any questions on that, I'm kind of more than willing to let you guys A/B test or just kind of try out the service. And yeah, if you got any kind of pricing question, if you go beyond our largest self-serve model, which is $1,000 a year for 36,000 credits, I can help put together kind of more of an enterprise plan for you guys. So yeah, honestly, feel free to get in touch with any questions you have regarding pricing or anything about the tech side. I'm more than willing to help.
Absolutely. So just to sort of underscore that for those on the call, you can sign up for a free Addressee account. You can activate it without having done anything from a payment perspective. So that allows you to get it kind of started and see how it works right away without much difficulty. But then please contact Addressee as you start to use it, because they'll obviously set you up with the right plan and everything that you would need to be able to use it on a more ongoing basis. And then one other question as far as everything is concerned. So we saw the side of it that that allows you to set it up in the admin. So basically, it's probably recommended that they sign up for the Addressee account first. That way they have the credentials that they need to be able to set up on the Zoe side. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. And there is also a link directly to the sign-up page from the app that we've already got an account.
Perfect. So what I'm quickly doing here is I'm going to pull up the actual app page so that everybody can see it. So for those who aren't familiar with the new App Store, when you come to the Zoe Marketplace, you'll see all of the different options. We've actually enhanced this in recent weeks. We've been able to add a search capability, filtering by integration. So there's a lot of benefit here as we grow the App Store to make it easier. If you go to Add Apps now in the admin, it's also going to take you here. We've unified it under one experience, so there's no internal admin app listing along with the external one. So the Addressee page is right here, and if you click Get App and you're logged in, this will install the app automatically. So this is really where you install apps now, but if you don't have an Addressee account, there's also a link right here where you can click to get Addressee, and once you click on it, it takes you directly over to their site where you can sign up for your free account. So it's really designed to be as simple a process as possible for you as a merchant. Once you register for the Addressee account, you can install the app right away and have everything up and running within a few moments. Taking a look in the question queue, it doesn't look like we have too many questions here. Let me just double check. Oh, yeah, we do have one more. So the 100 a month free credits, is that a fully functional free account? In other words, like there's no restrictions on what can be accessed using that free account, correct?
With the free account, I'm afraid it is solely US data that you can access. 100 free US lookups a month. And also on the free account, as you saw, the little Addressee logo on the drop down will be present. But as soon as you move on to a paid account, then that is removable, and also you can access fully international.
Perfect. That makes sense. So international merchants, then the trial won't be the right approach. You'll want to contact Addressee right away to get everything set up. Perfect. Well, I think that does it for the Q&A. Again, for anybody who has questions after the presentation, please let us know. We also want to remind you that we'd love to have your feedback about this webinar and the webinar series in general. Let us know what topics you'd like to learn more about. You can email josh@zoe.com, that's me, and I will be happy to talk with you about it and to learn more about what you think will be helpful. And a reminder, you'll see the upcoming webinars on our Merchant Webinars page on zoe.com. You can also view recordings of previous webinars. We've got 3 recordings up, and this Addressee webinar will be available sometime in the next 24 hours, although if history's any guide, you'll probably have it by 2 o'clock because they tend to move pretty quickly on that. Next webinars that you should be looking forward to, starting with ShipStation next week. It's going to be a half-hour webinar that helps to explain some opportunities for streamlining shipping. ShipStation can also help you get better shipping rates, especially if you're in the U.S. So learn how ShipStation can help you with that and more. That's a week from today, April 19th at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then the following week, this is a big Zoe announcement that's coming. We have the Visual Design Editor V3. That'll be coming out sometime in the second quarter, but we want to give you a preview so you know what to expect. You'll be able to learn about all the upcoming changes that are coming, more than 40 new elements that will be available to you for your design, revamped CMS capabilities that will make it easier to edit your content without having to enter your design, and even admin controls that can make restricting access for certain users also easier. So if you have just sort of a product manager that doesn't need to access the design, you can now restrict that for the very first time. That'll be 2 weeks from today, also 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So we hope you'll join us for those, and we'll be announcing some additional sessions for May here very soon. In the meantime, we really do thank you for joining us as always. On behalf of Jackie on the partner team and myself, as well as Tom and Henrik, we thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you at another upcoming webinar. Until then, have a great day.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.